Okay, anyways, let's talk about what we're going to talk about.
Okay. All right, so we're going to talk about dating and what dating looks like in our lives. Because it's very different.
It's difficult.
Yeah, and it really is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard for so many people with kids.
Yeah.
Single parents, I hear you. I think we all relate in different ways when it comes to our children. If we're actively having the interests of our children, it makes it very difficult to find that person.
Yes. And it's almost like you have to create this checklist, and then you're like setting this person up for all these like almost maybe unrealistic expectations, and you're like, I'm never going to find this person.
Yeah. And then you think, oh, maybe this could possibly be the person.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe, and that's what they really want, and then it's not.
Mm-hmm. I think I've been knowing, like, for myself, it's really scary of the idea of, because mine is so young, so the idea of bringing somebody into his life and then being around for 2-3 years and leaving. And he's had to experience that already, and it's scary to think that he could experience that again. And so it's like a super big insecurity of mine.
Yeah, it should be.
And
And that's absolutely normal.
But then at the same time, it's like it's out of my control. So how far do I let that be an issue almost, you know?
Well, I think the first thing is that we need to understand that we can't take control over something that is out of our hands, right?
Yeah.
And nobody has the ability to see or what's happening tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we have to live in this moment and do the best that we can be and who we can be in this moment.
Yeah.
And people's wants change.
Yes.
As we grow, our wants change, and that's okay. And maybe the person that comes into your life, this is what they want, and they really want it. They really love you, and they really love your boy. And they, at that time, wholeheartedly, this is what they want. And as time goes by, whether it's 1 year, 2 years, 1 month, 5 months, if that changes, that changes. And we can't stop living because we're scared of what the outcome can be.
That's when we miss things, right?
Yeah, it goes by.
Yeah.
And then later on you're like, I wonder what, oh, well, I can't focus on that because that was yesterday anyways, but I know for myself, I ran with that story when I know I always bring up this whole story and stamp thing, but I really strongly believe that that's we run with weird stories, background noises all the time. And we have to learn to figure out what those stories are so that we're able to heal them and make changes. And I'm all about growing and making changes in my life. So recognizing some of the things that I did in my relationships and dating was, I really wanted a family. My mom was a single mother. I wanted to know what it felt like to have that picket fence type, you know? And I remember being 17 years old and saying, I can't kill this baby, I don't want to go to hell, I want to have this baby, but you ain't going to leave, right? Because I need this kid to have a family. And we were children, and of course we're like, yeah, I ain't going nowhere. And for whatever reason, it is what it is, but I still ran with that story up until just a little while ago that I wanted a family for my kids, not understanding that I am the family for my kids. It's us four against the world, and we are a family, and that's okay to be a family, just us. I didn't need a man to make us whole. They didn't need a father to make the family complete. And I know a lot of women who I've spoken to in my life have run the same type of journey that I have. Different people have come in and, oh, this guy's the perfect fit, and now I'm a family, and put up with unhappiness or being mistreated or for whatever reasons, because hey, my kids need a family, they need that. And I wanted that so bad that I put myself in some situations that I probably shouldn't have. And unfortunately, that also affected my children. My kids have had people come in and out of their lives who they thought that were going to be solid, and now they can't really take it serious. And now I'm at a point in my life that I need to be just us against the world, and I understand that. And my kids are big. Like, I don't need a man to come in here and raise my kids, because my kids are big.
Yeah.
Like, they're starting to figure out, like, we're working on what they're doing next. But in your case, you're a little dude. You bring someone in your life, that is going to be a solid figure in their life.
Yeah.
Someone who comes in my kid's life, they're going to be friends.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be someone who's like, hey, like, you kind of grow from and
They're
be an
buddies,
influence, like
yeah.
more of a different type of relationship. Whether in your situation, it's going to be someone that's going to be a real someone he looks up to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who's going to come and share the parenting and share the load and share the weight.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's hard to find that person that, you know.
Yeah, and like up until like recently, I was dating before my son's father. It was just me. I could date who I wanted. I could do what I wanted, and there was just, if something weren't to work out, it was just on me, and it was just my feelings, or my feelings that I had to take into account. And now it's like, it's not just my feelings, because if I bring somebody into his life, that's somebody he cares about, that's somebody he loves. And what happens if it does end and that person isn't maybe going to stick around just to even be, maybe not with me, but still a friend to him, because that's who they may have been to him. And like for me, the example I've seen is my dad. And he came into my oldest sister's life, and he was there from the age she was 2, and he's still there, and that's who she calls dad. And that's like the goal, right? To have somebody there who will stick by him regardless of where we're at.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, my kids are blessed. All the people that have come into their life really, really love them.
Mm-hmm.
And they all have their own relationships with those people.
Yeah.
I'm very, very lucky for that, and never try to interfere with those relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you're so well grounded, and you really are at that point in your life that you're feeding yourself and you're constantly going. The person that you got a checklist.
Yeah.
You know what you're looking for, and that's amazing. And you're not willing to just bring anyone around your boy.
Mm-hmm.
And that person that's going to be privileged enough to be around is going to be worth it, you know.
Yeah. And it's scary too, because you don't want to like jump into something too quick and be like, am I like going too fast, too quick, and like not listening to my checklist and just going off instinct? It's like, where do I draw the line? Do I listen to what my heart is saying, or do I follow that checklist and be like, oh, have they met all this criteria? Have I followed like, oh, I need to be dating this person for this long before I even bring them into that part of my life? It's like, do I go with my head or my heart? Like, where do you find that balance, like that middle ground?
I can't have this conversation because you know how
You follow your heart.
No, heck no. Love's not enough. Are you kidding me? No, yeah, I have my checklist, and that's huge, important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I've unfortunately left people that could have been the one that I could spend the rest of my life with, because I don't run on love.
Mm-hmm.
Love's not enough for me. But at the end of the day, like, are you going to find that person that hit every single one of your checks?
Yeah.
And you're really playing with fire there, because you don't know.
Yeah.
But we're all on our own journey, and as long as that we know what it is that we want and what we're looking for, what we're willing to, it's them. Like, what we would want for our kids. That's what, like, for me personally, with my boys, when I look at the guys that I choose to be with, I'm like, would I want my kid to be like you? Do you carry yourself in that way? Because at the end of the day, my kid's gonna look up to you.
That's a huge thing.
And it's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, pull your damn pants up. I can see your butt.